Hey cats, EDDBUD here. Today I've got a video for you about my segment on the SHOETUBERS team of the ASICS World EKDIEN. Hey guys, thanks for joining me here at EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews. It's always appreciated. If you've yet to do so, please help the channel out by hitting that subscribe button, but also clicking the bell below for notifications when we launch those new videos for you. And it really helps the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. Merci beaucoup. So over the weekend I took part in the ASICS World EKDIEN with my SHOETUBER buddies, Run Like Hella, Andy the FOD runner, and the legendary Kofuzi. I was past the Tsuki cloth sash and it was time to give it a shot at a higher pace than I've run in a long time. I've been out with a shoulder injury, I fractured my shoulder in a couple of places, so yeah, not an awful lot of miles running at a faster pace, so it was gonna be tough. And I was really looking forward to it. If you're wondering what an EKIDEN is and what I'm talking about, then here's a quick lowdown. The original meaning comes from the Japanese characters of station and transmit. So the concept being that a runner would run between these stations with a piece of information or something, I suppose. But of course the runners drop off the baton or the sash to the next member in the team and then they go hell for leather. So, yeah, it's all about being part of a team, and a bit like the A-team, I suppose. I think the very first EKIDEN race was in 1917, so it's not a new thing by any stretch, but very, very popular over in Japan. They do lots of different versions, different distances and stuff, but the one we're involved in is over the marathon distance. So there's about 6 segments in total. I'm just doing one of the shorter ones this time round. Last year I did a 10 and a 5k. Just a 5k for me this year. So fast forward to a rainy, drizzly Saturday lunchtime. No pizza either on the cards, only quiche, which isn't the most inspiring, but it did taste alright. So what happened here in Somerset for my 5k? Hey guys, so I've got up to the area I was going to use to do the 5k segment. There's loads of roadworks, potential problems I suppose, if I'm going to use this. I mean, normally it's really quiet, but it's jam-packed, so we're gonna have a bit of a rethink. No point trying to do it here. People have no idea where they're going. There's a whole part that's cut off and down to a single lane. So I ended up doing a 2-mile warm-up. I can't use that area back there. Roadworks everywhere. As I went round one of the corners, which I would have to take about 4 or 5 times, I almost got taken out by a car. So that's not gonna happen. So I've got to have to go to route B. I must have run those loops like, I don't know, 50, 60 times recently. The one day I want to use it, I can't. So I'm going to have to go for the old Yeovil Park Run B route, which isn't my favourite, but hey, what can you do? Oh, I did it. I did it. I didn't want to let you guys down. 20 minutes 43. It was not easy. Not easy at all. My arm is hurting like hell. I went with the arm sleeves to try and keep my arm a bit warm, but it's the cold where the fractures were. It really hurts. Once I got past halfway, it was a little easier. I did abruptly stop on one occasion when a dog flew out in front of me, and that really freaked me out. Big time. That did freak me out a lot. And I did it. Great running as well, guys. In all your segments, it's been a pleasure running with you. So not the ideal setup really to the 5k segment. My proposed route unavailable really. I mean, part of the road was closed off, so it wasn't so much cars being a problem. It was where they'd positioned some of the roadblocks and they dug up some of the road. I just couldn't see around some of the corners. It would have been very dangerous, in fact, to try and run, certainly at a higher pace around that route. So had to change to, yeah, the dreaded route where I got injured. So it was kind of like a double whammy of anxiety. You know, can I run at that pace? First time I've run at some faster speeds, you know, well into my threshold zone, and also running in a place where there's sometimes not an awful lot of room for manoeuvre. A lot more chance of stoppage and disruption on this route, especially during the middle of the day. People just seem very sort of insular at the moment, unaware of what's going on around them. You know, a big dog running towards you, you don't know whether they're kind of going to lick you to death or, you know, bite you. There's a lot of viewers that have actually mentioned they've had incidents with dogs. I know Monty commented that he'd had an incident with a dog and it had set him back months and months and months. It's really sad. Hope you're okay, buddy. I did have to veer off course numerous times actually during this 5k. People just weren't prepared to move whatsoever, but fortunately, knowing that local area quite well, I was able to take alternative routes and paths to get around them. Started off well, around about 4 minutes per kilometre, but slowed a little come kilometre 2 and 3. The main issue was having a dog just charge at me around about 1.5 miles. You can see my heart rate spiked. I was, bordering on panicking, really, I suppose. I was already working hard, but to have that happen, it really riled me, actually. And I did mention to the owner that perhaps they should have it on a lead. It might be useful. You know, I could have been a small child or anything. In fact, I was a big 6'2" bloke steaming along as fast as I could. Perhaps didn't help, but it did take me a few minutes to calm down. I managed to do that and kind of remove the demons from my head that were telling me just to, you know, slow down, basically. Managed to push through, though, through the drizzle and the gusty wind as well. It's quite atmospheric out there. I was enjoying myself and got in with a final time of 20:42, which I'm really happy with considering everything that was in my way. You know, fractured shoulder only, what, 5 weeks ago. One big issue with this route though, guys, is the fact that there's lots of tree cover, so the GPS kind of screwed up a little bit. Certainly some deviations there, and when I saved the event it actually went to 20 minutes 56, so I'm not entirely sure how it works really. I think initially it was 20:42, it went to 20:56. Either way, good to get a solid effort in there, under 21 minutes. By no means as fast as I went in July. My Cross Apex watch was enamoured with my effort, and to be honest, whilst not close to my time trial effort over 5k that I did in July, that was 19:41, but when you consider the conditions as well underfoot, very slippery, loads of leaves everywhere. We really are in autumn right now. I had to deviate into the mud sometimes. There was a mad dog, obviously. The drizzle and, 3 weeks off of running, it has dented my fitness somewhat. And of course, limited right arm swing at the moment. It's getting there, but it's still not back to full throttle. Cadence, I think, was probably about where I expected to see it, and heart rate a little higher, which is fully expected from my current condition. You can actually see the exact moment where the dog kind of ran towards me and I got pretty upset. It's just really obvious there in the trace. Next up, we've got to talk the shoes. It's got to be the shoes. So how did the ASICS Metaspeed Sky perform? Well, superbly well, to be honest. I would say an upgrade in underfoot traction over the next percent. That was really clear actually. Even on slippery conditions out there, these felt really assured. I think in general, lockdown and comfort is pretty on point in this shoe. Just really amazed by this outsole. It really doesn't look like it's going to work all that well, but it does. I'm rapidly becoming a fan of this slightly less compressive shoe. The slightly denser flight foam material really does seem to work quite well for me. Just more stable and consistent, I think, than Zoom X perhaps. And it felt really stable on those quick short turns I was having to make. There was a double back in there as well. Not once did I feel like I was teetering over the edge of the midsole. No danger of sort of collapsing off of the side there. So yeah, really enjoying this shoe so far. I can see future iterations of this one really picking up some interest from runners out there. It's going to get more fans, more followers. I think they'll refine it a little bit more. One slightly odd thing here, the laces are taking a real beating. They're starting to sort of fray a little bit. Maybe I'll replace those at some point, although I do like their waxy texture. Great taking part once again with the SHOETUBERS in the ASICS World EKDIEN. Many thanks to ASICS for supporting us as well with some gear. I'm really enjoying this one. Anything that keeps me warm at the moment, and certainly my arm or shoulder warm, is very welcome. I think some of the other guys have posted some videos based on their segments. Do go and check those out. I'll put some links in the description. I know Kafuzi's put some fantastic times up, as has the FOD runner as well. I think Emily's taking on her segment later today. It'd be really great, to actually do this event, but together. One day, maybe next year, we can actually do that. Get us all in the same place. I think Mike's got the best place there because he's got loads of straight sections. I just can't find anywhere that's like that around here, Mike. It's just nothing at all. Everything's got twists or turns or hills. It'd be really nice to do a 5k just on that straight section. I think I'll get a good time. Let's make it happen this time next year. We'll be millionaires. So do check those other videos out in the description, guys, and support the SHOETUBERS. Just one comic thing here. I haven't scripted this. I left on the race mode while I was using the Runkeeper app, and I got this lovely lady every kilometre telling me some history about the EKIDEN. And in the end, it really helped out, because rather than worrying about, you know, I feel like my lungs are going to fly out of my mouth, I was interested to hear what she had to say on the next kilometre. So it kind of pushed me on to give me something to focus on. She sort of told you about the sash that the runners transfer to each other and the symbols that are on it. And then she kind of goes, yeah, come on, you can give it a little bit extra. And I'm there thinking, nah, no, I can't do that at all right now. I'm going at full tilt. So it was pretty humorous. I was laughing to myself at one point. She'd mentioned I'd gone over halfway, and I was absolutely over halfway. I was kind of near the end. I think she got a bit confused as to where I was on my segment. So yeah, do leave that one on if you're doing the ASICS World EKDIEN if you want a bit of a laugh. A musical interlude for you. I'm not entirely sure how I missed it, but Low Roar, one of my favourite musical acts, released an album earlier this year, and I just completely didn't realise. It's called Maybe Tomorrow, came out back in July, so yeah, I've really missed out on this one. I don't know how. There's a couple of beautiful tracks on here, guys. One of them is called Hummingbird, which almost feels like it's in slow motion, like it's frozen. These beautiful, very subtle, soft piano notes and very high-pitched vocals, drenched in reverb. Really wonderful if you want to calm yourself down. Maybe after a dog has ran at you. Another really great track on here is called Fade Away. It almost sounds a bit like a Radiohead track, maybe from the period of In Rainbows or something. Chopped up vocals and some really nice, chewy beats there for you to dig into. Glad to see Low Roar producing some new tracks and really on form as well. Do check this one out. It's called Maybe Tomorrow by Low Roar. Well guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. I do appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications when we roll them out for you. And it really helps the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you